And welcome to Cosmic Connections, friends. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler along with you for the next 40 minutes or so. We meet on Wednesdays and we talk about the astrology of the week. And of course, we also talk about spiritual messages. I'm able to tune in and give our participants some spiritual messages wearing the hat of the medium and also the hat of the astrologer. So a big welcome to you. Hello. If you're new, please enjoy, sit back, listen, learn. We are a few days away from the solar eclipse of first one since 2004 in Taurus, and quite an eclipse it was. And I don't know about you, but here's the question of the week. The best way to describe this is kind of an anxiety feeling, yet tired at the same time. That was my experience this week, post eclipse. And of course, we have another eclipse coming up in just another 12 days or so. And that's going to be the lunar eclipse. And the solar eclipse sets the stage, and the lunar eclipse whips up our emotions. So the question of the week would be, how are you feeling? Are you feeling that sense of that something's going to happen, and at the same time a little bit tired, perhaps emotionally tired? I want to thank all the wonderful people who came to the Eclipse retreat on Saturday, whether or not they were in person or virtual. We had dozens of folks enjoy the retreat. I know I had a great time, and it was just a wonderful experience. We had food, frolic, information, and cake. You always have to have cake. So welcome, Jill. You're elated and exhausted. Good reason to be elated and exhausted. Congratulations are in order for our beautiful Jill and her beautiful daughter and grandchild. And thank you for that comment, Jill. It was great to have you a part of it. Hi, Marianne and Kathy and Retta and Rhonda and Kathy M and Michelle and Stephanie. Oh, I know I love stars too, Stephanie. Hey, Carla, thanks for being here. Hi, Patty. Hello, Linda and Joanne and Donna and Linda and Elaine and Lois and Sherlyn and Sherry and Patricia and Stephanie and Brenda and all of you beautiful people. I won't have time to say hi to everybody, but please know you're getting a very big hug and a big solar eclipse greeting, because it's still okay to set your intentions. Solar eclipses are doorways. Solar eclipses are portals of change. And man, have we seen some change in the past 3 or 4 days. I'm going to get to that with some slides in just a minute. But the lunation we're looking forward to, friends, is on Mother's Day. All right, so Mother's Day on the 8th, we're going to have a first quarter square. I'm going to be talking about that. Squares are always about the building. We set our intentions at the new cycle. So really still reflect and visualize what it is you want to manifest. And then starting on Sunday, we're going to start putting our metal to the pedal to the metal. We're going to really go forward with confidence and start rebuilding our lives in such a way that we can manifest our greatest dreams for safety, security, our greatest dreams for feeling grounded and having beauty around us. These are all Taurus words. We're in this beautiful time of the year when at least in the Northern Hemisphere, when things are beginning to pop up and down the sidewalk, right? And not just the daffodils anymore. It's often pollen season, of course, but there's a little darkness in every light. Well, in any case, I'm very enthusiastic about this time of the year when we're in the middle of the eclipse season. And of course, I want to share things with you, right? So next week, I'm not having one, but I'm having 2 classes. I'm having a class on Tuesday. You're all welcome, no matter where you are tuning in from, because it's going to be a Zoom class, and I'll send my contact along the way for you. All my classes, I like to not just explain to the beginners, but also to go more in depth with those of you who've been studying astrology for a while. And everyone gets a little bit of a reading. And the Tuesday class is going to be not just on the Mercury Retrograde. Oh, drumbeat, right? Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing. We're going to be talking about the Mercury retrograde on Tuesday during class, and of course a bit next week during Cosmic Connections. But Tuesday, circle that day. And wherever you have fire in your chart, if you're a Sag, if you're an Aries, if you're a Leo, this is the ingress day when Jupiter, lovingly called Santa Claus, moves into the sign of Aries for the first time in 12 years. So it's going to ignite our feisty, fearless part of ourselves. And that's happening on Tuesday, along with the Mercury retrograde, which I'm really inviting. I'm really looking forward to the Mercury retrograde, because the other question of the week, I will ask you this. Do you feel that life is spinning out of control, that it's going faster than a speeding bullet? During a Mercury retrograde, friends, we can catch our breath, we can reorder, we can regroup, we can finish up all those projects and all that paperwork and all that laundry that's been cluttering your path in your home. I don't know about your path in your home, but I have too much laundry. And then on Thursday night next week, all this is on my website, so please join in if you'd like. We're going to be doing a full moon lunar eclipse meditation and message nights. So those of you who would like to hone up your spiritual skills, your spiritual mediumistic skills, please attend that. Everyone will get a spiritual message like I do here on Wednesday nights. So that's going to be Tuesday and Thursday, a double hitter, because so much stuff is happening next week. This week, we have the lunation on Mother's Day. We have the 18 degree of Leo, the building cycle. So you still have time to set your intentions. All right, friends. Thank you all for being here. And if you would be so kind, if you have that type of, shall we say, inspiration, sharing is caring. If you share this webinar as we are in process, your name goes into my basket, and we will be drawing some gifts for the good people who are able to do that. All right, so I'm going to add some slides to our discussion here and talk about post-eclipse. So remember the solar eclipse. What has happened, my friends, the past few days? Oh my gosh. Remember, this solar eclipse always has an extra added unexpected tone to it, because it was next to Uranus, which is the Pandora's box of the zodiac. Uranus is technology, surprise, and unusual, and it was right next to our solar eclipse. And so this has been a very strange week for many of us, and we've had a lot of startling developments in the world. For example, of course, the leaked information about overturning Roe versus Wade. That's going to be an ongoing story, and that's going to be a very relevant story, because in the U.S.'s chart, Roe versus Wade, which was signed into law on January 23rd of 1973, the United States of America was having a Chiron return. And those of you who've been studying astrology know what Chiron is, right? Chiron is the wounded healer. And guess what? Chiron is back in Aries now. So one of the most divisive issues in our nation's recent history, in addition to everything else that's gone on with the CV, with the crisis of the virus, has been, of course, the abortion issue. So we're going to be talking about that as we go forth. But surprise, surprise, we had this development since the solar eclipse. And I say that's a Scorpio tonality, because even though the solar eclipse is in Taurus, what grounds Taurus? The opposite sign, which is Scorpio. So Scorpio rules all things relative to death and all things relative to secrets and intrigue. So that's number one that's happened since the solar eclipse. Number two, the market sank on Friday. Well, that was right before the solar eclipse, but it was with an orb here. And the lowest since 2008. Scorpio totality, because Scorpio rules the stock market. It rules economies. The other thing that's happened today, the Fed approved another 0.5 point rise in the interest rates. once again, we know this is coming, but originally they were talking about perhaps on a quarterly basis. They're doing this now seemingly every 2 weeks. That's going to affect all of us in all ways. And then, of course, we got the May 2nd news. This is a very interesting story. And I want to just shed a different kind of perspective on it. And that slide here, the DHS Disinformation Board, that came out on May 2nd. Okay, that's been equated with, of course, Orwell's 1984, The Mystery of Truth. But this is what I was looking at this. I thought this is really intriguing. Okay, so this was the announcement that came out right post-eclipse, right? That the DHS is going to put together kind of a disinformation, misinformation workforce. And that seems really official. And I left on this slide the links. You can do this yourself. It's very intriguing. So on the right side of our slide here, this is the release date. You can go to their website. Here is the link. And all they write here is a fact sheet. It's a fact sheet that's working to protect free speech and other fundamental rights when addressing the disinformation. This is a cut and paste here. Disinformation that threatens the security of the United States. It was released here. It's on the website. But then whenever you want to figure out what's going on with the feds, you go to the Federal Register. And so I went to the Federal Register. The link is right here. And they give a daily accounting of what's going on in Washington, what committee meetings, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. So I was trying to search for this because, of course, DHS is federal, and it did not come up on this site. It did not come up on the Federal Register at all. So where is this new initiative coming from? Is it totally the federal government, the U.S. federal government? Just a little intriguing. This Scorpio wants to know. It doesn't quite fit protocol with what's usually done with the feds. So kind of intriguing. Again, the tonality with this eclipse is surprise, surprise, surprise. Mysteries are coming out. Well, for all of us, I want to give you a little healing tool. Many of you know that I also do healing, and I'm a licensed massage therapist. And one of the things I have superimposed with my work is astrology with the meridians. So I was doing some of this during the retreat, but I want to share a little tool for you because all of us, I think, are experiencing some collective uncertainty, some collective fear, perhaps, because we're not really feeling grounded because everything is going so fast and the eclipses are just, they're firing away with our sense of routine and focus, groundedness. Here's a quick little healing tool for you, friends. Now, let me explain the photo on the right. It's a woman obviously in tears, and she's grasping her nose, as it were. I simply Googled, give me a picture of someone in grief. And indeed, there's something magical about self-healing. When I Googled this image, this came out, and this is the exact points on our face, which correspond with the large intestine meridian, which is often used in acupuncture and acupressure to relieve grief. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with grief, uncertainty, do this. During eclipse cycles, breathing in and out, large intestine 20, and then the other important point is on your clavicle, lung 1, below the clavicle. So more on that at some other point. I like to give you little tools for healing as well as the astrology. Let's take a look at the chart. Our chart for this Sunday, May 8th at 8:21 p.m., that's Eastern Daylight Time, has some interesting features. Number one, the moon is in conjunct Mars. So remember, the moon represents our feelings, our emotions, our sensitivity. Mars is anger and irritation and concern at the very best, right? So that in conjunct is happening. But what's an overreaching feeling with this particular chart is the sense of compassion, of trying to find the rootedness of compassion and sensitivity and intuition. Why? Because there's still so many of the planets glued together in the sign of Pisces, which represents the all. It's the quintessential water sign. And water represents the idea of cleansing and purifying and connecting with others through compassion and empathy. We also have chaos conjunct. I don't like chaos. Chaos is exactly what it represents. Right next to Ceres, food, clothing, and shelter. And we've had multiple stories, everything from baby formula to food processing plants having problems in distribution of our food. So this particular first quarter square might bring some of these stories into light, and it might also ignite your desire to safeguard and to have some basic food stuff in your home. We also have the moon opposite Saturn. Now, this casts a little bit of a serious tone on the next week, because the moon represents our feeling body, Saturn represents responsibilities. So it's kind of appropriate for Mother's Day, isn't it? Because what is a mother, if anything else, is she not responsible? Whether that be a mother or a grandmother. So there's a serious tone. And also, if you're blessed to have a mother who's in the living, you're going to be really feeling like you want to recognize her. And if you've never been a biological mom, you all mother something, whether that be your goals, your art, anything like along those lines, and of course your furry friends. Alrighty. Mother's Day. The Sabian symbol is a houseboat party. So I'm talking about these intense energies, but on this day, the Sabian symbol is a hoot. It's about congeniality, about having friends and connections. So however you celebrate Sunday, even if you're celebrating by yourself, enjoy. Think of this image of the houseboat party. It's about creative relaxation. Do something creative and relaxing. And I'm quoting Mark Emmett Jones here. All right. So when positive, this degree is graciousness. When it's negative, it's thoughtlessness and self-indulgence. So those are some tips for you for this upcoming Sunday. For our first quarter square. And remember, the first quarter square is always reminding us to build on what we want to do in our lives that was downloaded by the solar eclipse, which took place this past Saturday. So here's the astrology for you all. And for Aries, this particular week ahead is going to mean that you're wanting to play, touch in with your creativity, maybe have a little romance, or just do something fun for yourself. Ferret that out very strongly. For Taurus, it's all about the home and family, connecting with your domestic partners. And again, that starts on Sunday and goes until the following week. Be mindful of your surroundings, create more beauty in your home. Maybe do some deep cleaning, entertain, something along these lines. For Gemini or Gemini rising, this particular energy is asking you to get a hold of your schedule so you have more time to do the things you want to do, taking care of paperwork, taking care of organization, and also speaking your truth in a new way. For Cancer or Cancer rising, this energy is activating your need to create more income in your life, more abundance. It could also mean that you just want to do some reflection on your particular areas of skill set, of being that person that's very, very, let humility go aside. And I know that Cancers are very humble, but sing your praises to yourself as you navigate this week ahead. What are the great things I can do? And be appreciative of yourself. For Leo or Leo rising, this energy is igniting you, and you probably will be in a very wonderful mood on Sunday and Saturday, as well as you are navigating joy in your life, your charisma, and your leadership skills. For Virgo or Virgo rising, this particular energy may actually make you feel a little bit on the tired side and wanting to retreat a little bit, do a little bit more meditation or prayerful work or walking in the woods, whatever that might mean for you. For Libra or Libra rising, this energy is asking you to connect with your friends, to safeguard your social contacts and connect with them, reach out to them, have some fun with socializing. For Scorpio or Scorpio rising, the energy is asking you to reflect on your career and on your leadership abilities, what you want to do with your life, right? In the outer world. Might be a new job or a promotion that you're hankering for. So this weekend is a good time to visualize that. For Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, it's all about freedom. It's all about perhaps traveling, learning something new, teaching something new, getting on the bandwagon and expanding your life. For Capricorn or Capricorn rising, this energy is asking you to dig in the heels and become very aware of your personal, spiritual, or psychological power, of being very clear on how you can handle any sort of challenge in your life. For Aquarius or Aquarius rising, this week is all about your partner, spending time with your significant other, acknowledging them, cherishing them, appreciating them. And for Pisces, it's all about your work. It's all about how you are not just working in the job, but working to self-improve yourself, whether it be with exercise or diet or nutrition, something along those lines for our Pisces friends. For you kind people who have done the sharing, I'm going to now pull a winner of our little drawing that we do here on Wednesdays. And let's see, Chastity, I don't know if you're in the house tonight, but Chastity, you have won. And thank you for sharing, Chastity, and thank you for being here. And big hello to all of you lovely people. Hi, Kat and Sherry and Diane and Donna and Jill and Jan and Linda and Lynn and Pam. Nice to see you all, and Joanne and Connie. You're very welcome, Connie. It was great to see you at the retreat. And hi there, Dawn. Okay. All right. This is also Nurses Week. I did not know that. Wow. So Rhonda, many blessings to you and healing for our beautiful Rhonda with her recovery. Quick recovery, please. Okay, Stephanie, yes, Aries and Sagittarius, they're going to be rived up next week on Tuesday. And that particular cycle lasts for a year, give or take. Hi, Donna. Yes, time is flying. Yes, I agree, Jill. Someone do my laundry, please. All right. Yes, Rebecca, I agree with that. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for sharing, Cassie. Appreciate. Thank you for sharing, Paula. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Yes, Linda, interest rates are devastating, and I don't see any end in sight. We are going through the Taurus Scorpio eclipses in 2022, and we are going through a definite reboot. Hi, Debbie. Hi, dear friends. Big hugs to you all. All right, so we are now at that point in our Cosmic Connections when I do some spiritual messages. If you're new to this, please let me know that you're willing to receive a message. I close my eyes, I use my thumb, and it's very random, and wish you luck for you to receive a message. And again, if you're interested in getting a message for sure, please do consider coming to my class next Thursday. That's the mediumship, the meditation, and the full moon lunar eclipse class. And that's going to be on Thursday next week. All right. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. All right. Beth Ann Geiger. Hi, Beth Ann. My thumb came to you, and I will happily come to you. Hi, Marty. Thanks for being here. Hi, Laura. Where are the classes, Beth Ann? It's going to be on Zoom. So I'll just put my site here, and all the details are on this link here. Beth Ann, my dear, as I'm tuning into you, I feel you've been very diligently working on your own spirituality. And you know what they say, life sometimes gets in the way. For at least 5 years. I'm getting 5 years. 5 years ago, it feels like maybe you took a class or you started meditating, and but family and responsibilities often, quote, interfere with your spirituality. I'm using words from spirit. And I want to tell you that it's pretty easy to be really spiritual. Maybe I'm not one of them. If you're a monk up in the Himalayas, it's much more challenging sometimes to keep our spiritual focus and our practice going when we have a busy household. So that's my first statement to you, Beth Ann, that please don't be too hard on yourself. That sometimes you, Spirit is saying that you put yourself up in this perfectionistic routine. I need to do this, that, and the other to say that I'm a spiritual person. Do your best, do your best, do your best, and leave the criticism away because it's not helpful. I'm with a grandmother with you, for you. She's what I would call a deeply spiritual person in spirit because she was a prayer. And, you know, prayer, meditation, there are different ways of connecting with God, with spirit. But she was very diligent and very faithful in a more traditional sense. And I think you may have some of her, maybe a medal or rosary or some sort of jewelry of hers. That's a keepsake. And she likes to watch over you and everyone in the family. And she was very much a matriarch because she had a sweet, sensitive, wise way about her. Does that make sense? And with that wise way, she could move mountains. And in fact, she's talking about the mustard seed. If you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. I think that's from the New Testament, but she's giving that to me. So as we are navigating 2022 with you, Beth Ann, let's see, I'm still, yeah. You're welcome, Beth Ann, to give me some feedback as I'm going into your energy here. As we are navigating the energy for you this year, I want to circle the end of July, first part of August as a really wonderful, revitalizing time. I'm not sure if you are planning a break or a vacay or something like this, but it's also energetically a break from your routine. Okay. Thank you, Beth Ann. Okay. Might be your mom. Do you have some, I'm really feeling something silver and also some jewelry. So maybe both, right? But in any case, Beth Ann, as we get in the end of July, the first part of August, you get a break. Oh, you are going for a break. Okay. Vacation in Charleston. I presume that's South Carolina. That's your mom. Okay, great. Charleston, I love. That's a great town. I've been there a few times, and it's a wonderful place. And when you are there, you are going to find something that's going to remind you of your mom. And because she loved little teacups and fine dishes, and you're going to find a pattern that reminds you of her. And there's a sweetness about her. There's a sweetness about you. And there's just such a bond that you're going to find in those shops as you're walking in South Carolina. I'm presuming it's South Carolina. It could be West Virginia, but that's what I'm picking up. I'm also seeing a tree for you, Beth Ann. Maybe you're doing some landscaping or getting some new trees, but there's a tree somewhere around in your landscaping that you're thinking of putting little fairies or little memory items, maybe an angel or something like this, that is drawing you closer to your spirit loved ones. And with that, I'll leave you. Okay, she loved teacups that she shared with her grandma. Okay, they're both here. That's fabulous, Beth Ann. Thank you for the feedback, honey. So I leave you with God's blessing, and please don't be hard on yourself. That's the main message I'm getting for you from Spirit, that you're on the path. You are a beautiful soul, and you are just doing wonderful work in the world with others. And but tone down the self-criticism. I'm not doing enough, because you're doing everything you can. Your days are very full. All right, next person. Close my eyes. Before I get to the next person, big hugs to Pam and Linda and Kat and Annie and Teresa and Pam and Brenda. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and Charlie. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to do one more message here, and just let me know if you would like to receive. Okay, all right. I'm with Brenda Flateau Bauman. Brenda Flateau Bauman. Am I pronouncing your name right, Brenda? Brenda? I think there was a question about Aries going into, or Jupiter going into Aries. Yes, Jupiter stays in the sign for approximately a year. All right. Okay, approximately a year. And it goes back into Pisces at the end of the year. Okay. So, all right. I just came. So Brenda, you're with me, honey? Yes. And please understand, I'd love to give you all a message. I just do this randomly with eyes closed with my thumb. So Brenda, as I'm tuning into your energy, just want to make sure that you're still here. Just say here. Okay. All right. As I'm with your energy tonight, I'm seeing someone from the other side who'd like to sew. I saw like a dressmaker, what they're called, like a bust or something, like the old fashioned 50s, 60s. They would have whatever they called it, but they would like to sew, not just to save money, but to be creative, Brenda. So I don't know, you could recognize that right off the bat or not, if this was a mother or a grandmother or an aunt. But I'm getting the idea of using one's creative skills, domestic skills, in being like a seamstress. And the message for you personally, Brenda, is that you are trying to become more savvy in how you are dressing yourself, whether that means different colors or getting rid of clothing that no longer flatters you or fits you or something like this, that your physical body is changing. And so therefore your outer appearance is changing with what you are robing in. And I'm getting, sometimes I get this, I don't know your chart, I don't know you, Brenda, but I'm feeling that there's a strong Venusian energy with you. All right, so that could be a Libra rising, Taurus rising, or very prominent Venus in your chart. And Venus, of course, is the goddess of love, beauty, socializing, and creating beauty and loving beautiful surroundings. And so one of the hallmarks for you for 2022 is to be very mindful of these eclipse points. The one we just had on Saturday, the one we'll have on the 16th, and shift up your surroundings. I'm not saying you have to remodel anything or move, but maybe a coat of paint here or, a new rug there. I wonder if that makes sense to you, Brenda, because it's very, very important. You've gone through some grieving, you've gone through some difficulty. And I want to say it wasn't recent. It was probably about a year ago. And grief has a cyclical nature to it. And so right when we think we're done with the grief, it comes back with a vengeance. And what helps to calm you down is a beautiful, peaceful surroundings. Does that make sense? Okay, good. And so as you are moving through this particular year, be aware that it doesn't sound always spiritual what I say, right? Oh, you're not running to the back room to meditate. Your meditation is to creating more beautiful and harmonious surrounds for yourself. And that's going to help you with your mood and help you navigate this old grief. And it's almost as if I would like you to write yourself a letter to forgive yourself for having not said or done the things that you would have liked to have said to that person who's no longer in your life. And notice how I'm wording that. I'm not even saying that this grief is about someone passing into spirit. It might be someone just passing out of your life. And does that make sense? Good. And so it's okay. We can still energetically connect with people who are no longer in our lives, even though we've split up on some level, but we can still send them healing energy. So that's what spirit, you understand. Thank you. So that's what spirit is telling me to remind you to do. And why don't you do it on the full moon lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipses actually light up the world, right? Because the moon disappears and it comes back again. I'm glad you understand, because I don't. I'm just the messenger, Brenda, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're all here, dear friends. And we're pretty good with timing tonight, right? I kept right to my 42 minutes here. I want to wish you all a beautiful week of rebuilding. Wish all of you a wonderful Mother's Day. And remember, being a mother is not just having a child, although that's what we think about traditionally, but mothering that which gives you pleasure. And when you nurture and surrender your skills into making something beautiful happen. The Sabian symbol of the solar eclipse is a woman sprinkling flowers with water. So nurture what you want this week with a lot of grace and a great deal of passion. And it should be a very wonderful week. Next week, we'll be talking about the full moon lunar eclipse that happens the following week. I thank you so much for being here, and wishing you lots of love and goodness. Night now.